Okay, so we've just finished quadratics by taking square roots intro. We're going to do quadratics by taking square roots. This will be a little bit harder, but the same idea. So we're going to have to take the square root of this expression. Okay, so we've got a function x minus 7 quantity squared minus 64, and we want to find the zero. So we want to find out where x minus 7 quantity squared minus 64. We want to find out when that's 0. So for my students, when we put something in parentheses and we want to show that that we're going to put that to a power, we always say that quantity, whatever this is, x minus 7 quantity squared or cubed or to the 4th power. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do is add 64 to both sides, plus 64. So then I'll get x minus 7 squared is equal to 64. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So I'll get x minus 7. And we're going to get two answers, right? We're going to get negative 8, and then x minus 7 is equal to positive 8, because positive 8 is 64 and negative 8 is squared is 64. Positive 8 squared is 64 and negative 8 squared is 64. And then we're going to have to solve these two equations. So it's going to break off into two groups here. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides, and I'm going to get x is equal to negative 1. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. I'm going to get x is equal to 15. Okay. So, and I can check that. I can substitute. Negative 1 minus 7 is negative 8 squared is 64 minus 64 is 0. 15 minus 7 is 8. 8 squared is 64 minus 64 is 0. All right, so my next one looks kind of the same. It's not a function though. It just says it's an equation that's 0. All right, so I have x plus 7 squared minus 49 is equal to 0. So I'm going to add 49 to both sides, and I'm going to end up with x plus 7 squared is equal to 49. I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and I'm going to end up with two equations. X plus 7 is equal to positive 7, because 7 times 7 is 49, and I'm going to get it. X plus 7 is equal to negative 7, because negative 7 squared is 49. And then I'm going to solve these two equations, and I'm going to end up with x is equal to 0. And I'm going to end up with x is equal to negative 14. So let me check this out. 0 in here. 0 plus 7 is 7. 7 squared is 49. 49 minus 49 is 0. That's good. Negative 14. Negative 14 plus 7 is negative 7. Negative 7 squared is 49. 49 minus 49 is 0. I'm good. So I want to put the lesser number in here. Make sure that's the negative one here. Negative number. Negative 14 is smaller than 0. Okay. Put these off so you can see which ones are which. So what I have, x plus 8 squared minus 2 is equal to 0. Here we're going to get a little bit more difficult. So this is just an equation, and we want to solve the equation for x. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I'm going to get x plus 8 quantity squared is equal to 2. And then I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and I'm going to get two equations. X plus 8 is equal to positive square root of 2, because square root of 2 squared is 2. And I'm going to get x plus 8 is equal to negative square root of 2, because negative square root of 2 squared is 2. Negative square root of 2 times negative square root of 2 is 2. Alright, so I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And I'm going to have x is equal to square root of 2 minus 8. And I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Excuse me, I sneezed. And we're going to have x is equal to negative square root of 2 minus 8. And it's asking us to round to 2 decimal places, so we need to use this calculator. And I need to get square root of 2 minus 8, negative 6.59, two decimal places, negative 6.59, and we're going to have negative square root of 2 minus 8. Oops. Negative square root of 2 minus 8 equal to negative 9.41. Let's put these in. Which one is smaller? This one is smaller. More negative. The lesser x, it's more negative. And we could not, oh, there we go. Put a period instead of a negative. There we go. Can't understand me. Okay. Let's do our fourth one here. Find the zeros of this function. So this is our function, f of x is equal to x plus 2 squared minus 16, and we want to find out where that is 0. So x plus 2 squared minus 16 is equal to 0. So I'm going to add 16 to both sides. And I'm going to end up with x plus 2 quantity squared is equal to 16. I'll take the square root of both sides. I'll end up with 2 equations. One is x plus 2 is equal to 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. And then I'll end up with x plus 2 is equal to what? Negative 4. Why? Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. And here I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, so I'll have x is equal to 2, and here I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, and I'm going to end up with x is equal to negative 6. So let's substitute these in and make sure we got them right. So if x is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 squared is 16, 16 minus 16 is 0. If x is equal to negative 6, negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 squared is 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. So we look good. Put the lesser one, that's the more negative, or in this case the negative one here. And then our positive one goes in the greater. Alright, so that's how you do quadratics by taking square roots.